Hello, welcome to or back to my channel. My name is Stevie. This is Stevie Reads, and today we are starting a new video of reading some books in series that I've already started so that I'm able to continue in them like before the end of the year. I just had that realization that like it is almost 2025 and I'm not in the middle of a whole bunch of series. I'm actually pretty good at either like DNFing the series if I'm not interested in it or continuing in it while my brain still remembers. Well, I say that, but then I'm going to tell you some of these books and it's been years since I read the series. But anyway, I think I'm in the middle of like 7 or 8 series right now, which is not as bad as it could be because I own quite a few series on my shelf. I just either haven't started them yet or they're completed. So yeah, I want to read 4 books in this video. 2 of them are manga and 2 of them are romances. So pretty easy series to like continue in. And I think it'll just be a good time. So I'm going to take you to my shelves. We're going to pick out the books I need to read. Okay, we had to come all the way to the floor for this series, but Spy Family, I own 10 volumes, and I think I'm gonna stop at the 10th volume, like, just because I'm having a good time with the series, but I'm kind of, like, okay with it being done now. But anyway, I've read up to volume 8, and I read volume 8 last year in October 2023, so it's barely been a year since I read this last one, and they're such quick reads. I really don't know why I don't pick them up more, but that's the whole point of this freaking video is I'm forcing myself to continue in series that I've started and I like. I still remember where I left off in that last one, so this will definitely be a nice easy read, but this is the first book. Okay, and this next one shares the shelf with my TBR jar, but this Fullmetal Alchemist series, I started reading Fullmetal years and years ago, and it has been a while since I've picked up a volume. I read volume 5 all the way back in June 2022. So it's been over 2 years, almost 2.5 years since I've read this volume. I can't remember what I rated it. It was either a 3 or a 4, but like I have a good time with this series. My husband loves the anime of Fullmetal, but he's the one who told me to start reading Fullmetal so that, you know, he could talk to me about it and just share like an anime that he loves. So I'm finally going to be reading volume 6. I haven't even told him that I'm going to continue in this series, and he's gonna be so stoked because sometimes I'm like, ugh, I don't know what to read. And every single time he's like, well, you still need to read Fullmetal. And I'm like, okay, not in the mood for a manga right now. Like I always just deny reading it. I think because he wants me to continue in this series so much. Oh my God. But yeah, he's gonna be stoked and I'm excited to continue too. You know, it's been over 2 damn years. I think it's time. And then we're just gonna pivot a little bit to my romance shelf right here because both of the next books are on here. So I started this Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver. The first book is Flawless, and I read the second one, Heartless, as well. I started this last October. I read Flawless, and then I got to Heartless back in July. So I read this during the summer and had a really good time. I gave this book 5 stars. I'm actually going to turn on this light right here because I'm pretty dark. Okay, kind of better. But yeah, I read Heartless back in July, gave it 5 stars, and because everyone says this is their favorite in the series and it's the second out of 5, it's kind of like not made me excited to continue even though I loved this book. And then in this video I want to pick up Powerless. This is the 3rd book. I don't know who we're following. I'm gonna have to like refresh my memory on the series a little bit. It's one of those romance series with all of like the interconnecting characters, you know, every book is a different couple and the couples are all friends. I'm finally going to continue in the Chestnut Spring series. Very happy about that. And you know, the purple of these covers kind of go really well together. Cute. And then the next book is the other like series that I have on the shelf. So this is my Anna Huang collection. We can get a little bit closer. I have read the Twisted series. This one is my favorite. Oh my God. Twisted Games. Such an amazing book. Like seriously, love, 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 love. This was 5 out of 5. So I've read the Twisted series, and then I own the first 4 in the is it just the King of Wrath series? I don't know the name of this one, but the first one is King of Wrath, and I read this in October, and I gave it 4 stars. I had a really good time. This series is giving like mafia, but I started this series last month, so the one I want to read, King of Pride, which is also purple. Oh my God, I didn't realize all of these were purple. Reading the second book in the King of Wrath, or oh, King of Sin, it's right there. Second book in the Kings of Sin series. These are the books that I want to read. I'm going to continue in 4 series, and I love the purple vibe that we've got going on. Spy Family is honestly kind of killing it. It's fine. I still want to read it. Can you imagine if I just like don't read it in this because it's not purple? I know I'm going to start with one of the romances just because it's Friday afternoon. So I know I'm going to want to sit down and like read a book this weekend. Don't know which I'm more in the vibe for. I'll let you know when I'm halfway through one of these. Hello, good morning. It is Sunday morning at like 8 o'clock, so I just got up, but I decided to start with Powerless, and yesterday I got up to page 240, so I'm a little bit over halfway and really enjoying this. I think Elsie Silver has a lot of hype for a reason. She can really create tension, and the like trope for this one is friends to lovers. Like the 2 main characters have known each other since the girl was 10 and he was 16, I think. But obviously when they were kids, they were just like cousins. They're not blood related at all, but he was taken in by the Easton family that's like the kids from the other books, because a lot happened. I think it's kind of spoiler, so I'm not going to get into it, but their family took him in, and our main character Sloane is cousins with the Eaton family, so she would go spend 4 weeks at the ranch every summer and, you know, just be kids on a ranch. They would climb trees and go swimming in the lake and do all the things, and she had a major crush on him, but obviously he was a 16-year-old boy. Like he just saw her as like a little sister, and now she's 28, he is 34, and the romance is brewing. She's a ballerina and he's a hockey player, and something has happened where neither of them are doing that right now. They're both back at the ranch just trying to like heal and get through like a hard time. She did call off her wedding. That's not a spoiler because it's in the synopsis, but at the very beginning of the book she is engaged to another man who is kind of like a business engagement from her father. Set her up with him because of like a business deal, but the guy is just an asshole, treats her like shit, and then on her wedding day she finds out that he cheated with her with the stripper from his like bachelor party. So Jasper breaks her out of her wedding, like literally there's a whole runaway bride scene. It was amazing. And so they're both just kind of like healing and grieving different things, and yeah, so right now they're both at the ranch, but I can just feel the tension brewing. And I do think the chapter that I'm in right now, like shit's about to go down. And yeah, I'm having a really good time. I didn't start this at all Friday night. I don't think I read anything Friday. And then yesterday I read 100 pages in the morning, and then I went thrifting with my friend because it was his birthday. We went thrifting and I got a bunch of cute things, and we went to Olive Garden, which was delicious. And then yeah, I got home last night and I just sat on the couch and read like 150 pages in a sitting. So this book is very addictive, very readable, and I am hoping to finish it today. Like I said, it is Sunday morning and I have no plans today. I am not leaving the house. I mean, I have to do a bunch of laundry and throw some food in the crock pot for dinner, but other than that, like I am just relaxing and reading, and hopefully I can wrap this one up today. Okay, it is Monday night, so it took me a couple of days to read the second half of this book, but I finally finished Powerless by Elsie Silver, first book of the video done, and I'm landing on a 3.5 for my rating. Like not just a 3, but not quite a 4. I really did enjoy the first half, but the second half wasn't as fun for me. I thought the third act breakup was so stupid, and yeah, it didn't wow me as much as the last book in the series, but still had a good time and still want to continue and read the next 2, obviously. The 4th book, I'm not as excited about the couple in the 5th book. I really want Beau's story, but I'll get to that eventually. Yeah, 3.5. This was my least favorite so far, but it was still like a good time. And you get to see all of the other characters in this book if you care about that. It kind of irks me sometimes with these interconnected series, how much they try to like push you to like see how everybody's lives are progressing, and like obviously it's nice once or twice in a book, but with Elsie Silver especially, like she's constantly reminding you of the other characters because it's such a found family story, and she overdoes it a little bit for me, but it's fine. First book down, and I'm going to read a manga next. I'm gonna read Spy Family first just because it's gonna be easier and it's a Monday. I'm just feeling like picking up the easier of the two options. But I don't know if I'm gonna read any tonight, maybe just a little bit to get it started, but the last 100 pages kind of killed this book for me, and now I'm not super in the reading mood. Hello, it is Wednesday afternoon, not even 3 o'clock yet. I didn't have to go into work today. So I've been running errands, doing a bunch of stuff, but I did also just barely finish volume 9 of Spy Family. I'm going to land on a 3-star for my rating. And this did reiterate the fact that once I read the next volume that I own, volume 10, I'm just going to be done with the series. I do like these characters and I have a good time with like the hijinks and stuff, but I'm just not reading manga as much anymore. And like the overall plot of the story that was built in volume 1 is just very slow moving. So yeah, I'm gonna land on a 3, pretty par for the course for this series for me. The only one of these that I gave a 5-star was the first volume. I loved volume 1, but then all of the rest have been 3 or 4s. So this one was a 3. I did really love Mission 58 in here, the one with Lloyd and Bond. Bond is like their family dog. That one was really fun and just goofy, and all of the chapters in here are just like a good time. Very quick read. It did take me 2 days to read it because I started yesterday on Tuesday night, but my mom came over, so I really only read like a chapter because I was like hanging out with her most of the night. But then yeah, today when I just got home, I just sat down, read the rest of it, and I love mangas for that reason. Just such a quick, nice reading experience. But now 2 out of the 4 books are done for this video. And since I just read a manga, I'm going to pick up the romance next and we will end with Fullmetal. But this series I just started last month, so happy that I'm already continuing on. But King of Pride by Anna Huang, I don't know the tropes or anything, so I'm going to read the back. Okay, we've got Kai Young. Kai, I believe he's the brother of the main character in the first book. Dante, I think Kai is Dante's brother. And he is a billionaire heir, so he's a very rich man. And then we got Isabella with her purple hair and inappropriate jokes. She's a bartender and it says she is chaos personified, so that makes sense why it's so purpley. Our main girl character's got purple hair, so I don't know what the tropes are other than just like maybe opposites attract and like forbidden romance. I'm sure his family isn't going to be happy that he's interested in a bartender, but maybe the trope is just billionaire romance. Like that's what it is. That's what this series is. So yeah, I'm excited to get started on this one, and I'll update you at the 50% mark. This is just a little bit under 400 pages, so I'll give you an update around the 200 page mark. But I'm gonna get this started tonight. Hopefully I can read quite a bit of it. But we're starting book number 3. Hello, it is Friday afternoon. I just got off work, so it is the freaking weekend, and I am halfway through King of Pride. I'm up to page 198, so like barely over halfway. And I am so sad that I'm not loving this book, which just sucks because my last 3 reads have all been 3 stars. Obviously in this video you saw Powerless and Spy Family. Well, Powerless was 3.5, so I guess it was a little bit better than a 3. But before I started filming this, I finished Legends and Lattes, which was also a 3-star. So I'm just not having a good time with the things that I'm reading, which sucks. And King of Pride is no exception. I'm halfway through a romance book and I don't care about either of the main characters, so I'm not really rooting for their romance. But we've got Kai and Isabel. I thought Kai was the brother of the guy in the first book, but that's not the case. He's just his friend. I'm just so used to all of the main characters in the Chestnut Spring series being related, I guess. But yeah, Kai is just Dante's friend, and both of our main characters are Asian, so they both have like families that put a lot of pressure on them. Isabella is the youngest and she has 4 older brothers. All of them are like successful in either their careers or their relationships, like they're married with kids and stuff. And then Kai is currently up for like a promotion right now to being CEO for the company that he works for. I guess it's like a family company. I don't know. I'm just not paying the closest of attention because I don't really care. But Isabella is 28, which is the same as our girly in Powerless, so kind of funny. And her family is supportive of her dreams, but just kind of tentatively, like they're supportive until she turns 30 ... Like I don't really know what that means. They just said like until she's 30 she can pursue her dreams. So she's close. She's got a deadline coming up, and she's a bartender at Valhalla. It's like a very exclusive bar there where membership is super pricey, and obviously Kai is a member there. So because she's a bartender, it's like forbidden to fraternize with the clients. So that's where like the forbiddenness is coming in, because she works at Valhalla he's a member there, so they can't get together. And also, you know, he is almost the CEO of a very big company, so his family thinks that because she's a bartender, like, she is not good enough for him, and they want to set him up with like an heiress of another family or whatever. But Isabella, she wants to be a writer. Well, supposedly, like, she keeps saying she wants to like put out a novel by the time she's 30, but she never writes. Like, all she does is bartend and obsess over Kai. But I don't even care about their relationship. Like, yeah, it's kind of forbidden, but like not in a fun way. Like, I'm not too concerned about the fact that she could lose her job, because I'm like, well, if you lose your job, then your boyfriend's like a billionaire, so I think you're gonna be just fine. And then, you know, it ruins his reputation of trying to be the CEO, and I'm like, does it really ruin his reputation that much? Like, how many CEOs probably have 28-year-old girlfriends who are bartenders? Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And like, their communication sucks, at least in the first 50%. Like, they'll go to a party and they'll sneak away and, you know, like, kiss or whatever, and then they ignore each other for weeks, and then they see each other at another event and they sneak away, and then they ignore each other for weeks. And I'm like, y'all are grown. Like, I don't know, clearly not having great time. Just a very positive review from me. Like, I don't want to complain, I want to love what I'm reading, but that's just not the reality right now. And I probably would DNF this because I'm halfway through a romance book and I don't care about the couple, so not really getting the vibes that I want to continue. But I kind of have to, because I own the third and fourth book in this series and I want to continue in the series. I do like Anna Huang, but this is just not her best work, you know? Hello, it is the same day. It is Friday night, and I defeated my 3-star curse because I finished King of Pride just barely, and it's getting a 2-star. Sadly, I think this is my least favorite Anna Huang. It was just too long. Like, why was this 400 pages? Super dumb for that. The characters were boring. The romance wasn't fun. It was giving bland, boring, not a good time. So, finished King of Pride, but she is getting a 2. So, glad that I finished it, I guess. I just didn't want to be haunted by this book all weekend. I was like, if you just read for the next 2 or 3 hours, you can knock out this book and then not have to pick it up tomorrow. And I did the damn thing. I just wanted to be done with it. So, happy that I finished it. I am gonna keep it on my shelves probably, just because I'll want the completed series, but I know I'll never reread it. And I did highlight when I was reading, like, a couple of times that I liked a line, but not nearly as many highlights as I normally have when I'm reading a book physically and like highlighting lines. So, and then it's only like 7:15 right now, but I'm not gonna start this tonight just because I feel like I'm readed out. I just want to go sit on my couch and watch Modern Family. But my husband was just up here hanging out and talking to me for a second, and I told him that I was going to pick this up in the morning, and he was like, do you remember where you left off? And I was like, no, it's been 2.5 years since I read volume 5. I was like, I read my reviews that I wrote at the time, but it didn't really spark a whole lot of memory. He was like, what don't you remember? And he literally just gave me like a 30-minute breakdown on what happened in those first 5 mangas, which was so helpful because I was asking questions and stuff. Like, I could have looked up a YouTube video or something to try to give me a summary, but it was just so helpful. And now I remember the story. Like, I even just read only the very first page, like right before the start of the chapter, and I understand what's going on. And I was like, talking to my husband, I was like, thank you so much, because I would have been lost trying to read this. When he was telling me stuff, I had zero memory, and then he'd keep explaining. I'd be like, oh, okay, like, it's starting. Anyway, so happy that I finished that book today. I am not dragging it in to my Saturday.
No, did you forget to put him out? No, remember I posed? People clapped. I had my moment. I do remember that. That was a great moment. I am so proud of you.
Hello, welcome to the end of the vlog. The next day. Sorry if you can hear my neighbor. I think he's blowing leaves. It sounds like either that or like a chainsaw. I don't know. But he's been doing it forever, and I just want to do this update. I read the entirety of volume 6 today, and it was way less confusing since I got like the rundown of what happened in the first 5 volumes. And I had a couple of questions, but it was nice. I was just able to talk to my husband about it. And as soon as I finished it, we sat down and talked about like what happened in it. And it's just nice because he's not a big reader, and obviously he hasn't read these, he just watched the manga, but it's fun to be able to talk about the series with him. And he told me that this one is a little bit of a filler in the series and that it's about to pick up, so I am excited to continue. But unfortunately this was a 3-star for me just because I think I've taken too long in between volumes to pick this one up. But I'm happy I understood what's happening. Now I know what's going on in the story, and hopefully I can read the next couple volumes I own sooner than 2 years. You know, we can hope. But bare minimum, we got 4 books done for this video, even though none of these were like very big winners for me or new all-time fave. I am just happy that I continued in 4 series this week. So let's go put them back on the shelves. The shelf is pretty tight, but I've only got one more until I am done with this series, at least for me. I know there's more volumes, but I'm gonna stop at volume 10. I just barely looked it up to see how many volumes of Fullmetal that there are, and there is 18 total, and I own the first 8, so I still have to buy 10 more. And then for the Chestnut Springs series, I just have 2 more left to read, and I also want to read her first series, the Gold Rush Ranch series. And I like the new covers that are coming out, so I actually asked for those for Christmas from my husband, so I'm gonna get 4 more Elsie Silver from him on Christmas. And also he's getting me the second book in this series, Wild Eyes. So I really would like to finish the Chestnut Spring series semi-soon, because I know that in December I'm going to have 5 more Elsie Silver books to add onto my TBR. And then I'm also happy that I read the second book in this series. Since it is the King of Sin series, I assume there's going to be 7 books for all the 7 sins, but only 4 of them have come out so far. So next I gotta read King of Greed, but only 2 more books in this series as well until I'm at least caught up. If I read these 2, I complete this series, and if I can read these 2 soon, I will be all caught up. So that's on the agenda. But if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. All of my socials are linked down below like always, and I'll see you for my next one very soon. Bye!